If you compound a $10,000 investment by 100, you get $1 million. It's the mathematical holy grail of investing, the 100-bagger. This kind of leap sounds like a theoretical fantasy, but researchers like Thomas Phelps and Chris Mayer have analyzed half a century of market data and found hundreds of stocks that have actually pulled this off. Achieving a 100-to-1 return requires holding a stock for decades, yet today, the average investor holds a stock for just 6 months. Investors face constant macroeconomic noise, inflation spikes, and energy crises triggering panic. During modern crashes, the psychological pressure to liquidate your portfolio becomes impossible to resist. Capturing a 100-fold return requires ignoring 99% of that daily noise. Instead, you have to apply a strict reverse-engineered process of elimination to the market, filtering out everything that mathematically cannot reach that finish line. The first filter we have to apply is scale. A mature giant like Apple or Amazon already dominates the global economy. For a trillion-dollar company to multiply its value by 100, it would need to outgrow the planetary GDP. The math breaks down. If we look at this math of 4,000 public U.S. companies, we must eliminate the large and mid-cap stocks completely. We are left with this bottom 30%. Microcap companies value under $500 million. These are the acorns. But an acorn needs soil. That single microcap company must operate in a massive untapped market, requiring a long, empty runway to expand into over the next several decades. To hit extreme multipliers, a business must start at the absolute bottom of the size scale. Once we isolate the right size, we apply a financial filter. We are looking for a highly specific mechanism of wealth creation, a phenomenon known as the twin engines. This chart illustrates the first engine, a high return on equity, where a business converts growing revenue into a steadily rising line of internal earnings. The second engine is external. As earnings grow, investors pay a higher premium per dollar of profit. This multiple expansion causes the stock's value to curve sharply upward. Finally, the turbocharge. If the company buys back its own shares, the total share count drops. Each share represents a larger piece of the pie, forcing the growth curve to spike vertically. A 100-to-1 return requires both of these forces, the internal growth of the business and the external optimism of the market, firing at the exact same time. Our third filter evaluates the human beings actually running the operation. Most public companies are run by corporate bureaucrats who hold very little of their own company's stock. We are filtering those out. We want owner-operators, founders and executives who personally own at least 10 to 20% of the business. When leaders have true skin in the game, the data shows they consistently outperform the broader market. An executive relying on a cash bonus might cut research spending to hit a quarterly Wall Street target. An owner-operator with their net worth tied to the stock will sacrifice short-term targets to build a product that dominates the market 10 years later. Screening the market for a microcap stock with twin-engine financials and a deeply invested founder is difficult, but identifying the right company is only 10% of the battle. The final, most brutal variable is time. Historically, the average 100-bagger takes between 20 and 26 years to reach its peak. Looking at this 25-year timeline, the climb is never a straight line. Every single 100-bagger in history has suffered multiple, terrifying drawdowns, often losing 50% of its value in a matter of months before recovering. Human nature dictates that when a stock loses half its value, investors panic. They sell to stop the bleeding, voluntarily destroying their own compounding curve right before the rebound. The solution is a framework called the coffee can portfolio. You buy these exceptional microcaps, and you mentally lock them in a coffee can. You do not touch them, you don't trade around them, and never sell during recessions. Finding a 100-bagger relies on quantitative filters, but actually capturing that wealth requires cultivating a state of inactivity bordering on sloth, allowing the math of compounding to work entirely uninterrupted.